Welcome back, everybody, to the Gears Winter Major presented by the Batman, as we're getting ready for our winners bracket final between the Kansas City Pioneers and the Pittsburgh Knights. It's a battle of city versus city in this one, KC or Pittsburgh. I'm so excited for this matchup. Let's go ahead and start to talk about these rosters and how they match up. First things first, the Kansas City Pioneers. Ryan, talk me through what this team needs to do to match up against Pittsburgh.
These are your defending champs, right? Obviously, they made that big roster change with Precision moving over to Halo. Bronny stepping into some very large shoes. This team had a very shaky day one, but they started to look like the KCP we know and love on day two. Again, still a very, very well-rounded team. Xysho, one of the best in-game leaders in the game. Truly one of those Swiss Army knives. He really does it all. The stats back that up as well. You have Acells, man. Come on, our previous MVP. Then you got that menace on the right. You got Hndles, Shawnee the menace on the right. One of those guys who just truly makes his teammates' lives easier. Huge playmaker. This is just a very well-rounded team with a ton of chemistry. Right? Acells and Hndles have been playing together for so long, and when this team is firing on all cylinders, they are really kind of like the unbeatable team in Gears Esports right now. So I know they're coming into Sunday feeling good.
Yeah, on the other side of the ring, they got the Pittsburgh Knights. Toby, break them down for me.
Not only the top Latin American team, they're also the top team this split in Pro League. And they also have pretty well-rounded mode pool, if you will, as well, too. 10-2, 8-2, 7-2 across the board. And in terms of players, of course, packed with individual skill. Dezonide has been on fire this event. We've seen talkboat triples, insane sniping, consistent KDs, but also Monkyz. You know, a player we've seen some good performances from this major. Statistically, he's been the best player in KD and KDA, 2 splits in a row. And of course, he went 12-0 in one map in particular on Tomb versus TQ. Those are the kind of performances we need to see from Monkyz, especially if they're to beat KCP.
Yep, it's a battle of the stars on both teams. We have MVP caliber players. Monkyz has been playing at an MVP level in Pro League for the last few splits now. Of course, we all know what Acells and Xysho and the like can do, but it's all going to come down to matchups and the picks and bans here. So I'm excited for the maps here. We'll see what the bans are going to be first. Ryan, talk me through these bans and some interesting notes as a result.
Yeah, so you're going to see KCP starting off banning Spire. We've been kind of seeing that all weekend long. Not a ton of surprise there. They're also going to ban Fearzly Execution. You heard Bronny in his interview basically say that they suck at that map and that they want no part of it. So a very good ban there. And one thing I do like, though, you see the Pittsburgh Knights banning that Clock Tower Execution. We know just how good this KCP squad is on Clock Tower Execution. They're going to also go ahead and ban Vaskar, a map that traditionally KCP is good on as well. So I'm liking what I see from both teams. I think both teams are probably feeling pretty comfortable heading in with those bans.
Yeah, comfortability and confidence for both teams, and I guess it comes down to the picks. Toby, talk me through these picks and who you think has an edge as a result.
Yeah, I love this pick actually from KCPs. Historically, they've been very good at majors on this particular map, and they've not had the greatest map pool control-wise, KCP. So yeah, after beating Rebel the other day, it's a good bet. Of course, PK go for checkout execution, though. They've been the best execution team for a very long time, and that is their best execution map by far. 4-0 in Pro League, beating some very good teams. We see TG come in for KCP. Love that. We've seen how good they were just yesterday. Meanwhile, though, PK statistically are the best TG map in Pro League, so that could be very interesting. Their district control from PK, a lot of confidence, honestly, them going with that one. They did actually KCP beat comfortably E United. I feel like KCP could slow things down against PK in similar fashion, so that does take a lot of nerve, I think, for PK to go for that one. Of course, if we need it, we have Tomb last map. Wow, that would be special, of course, for PK. I just spoke to Monky's performance, 12-0 against TQ. That could be really, really good actually for PK, and I think honestly they have the edge there if they can get to it.
Well, I like the breakdown of maps and who has what advantage based on maps. I'd love to talk through some of their keys to success. Let's take a look at Fran's keys to victory, starting with the Pittsburgh Knights. Toby, what are their keys to succeeding here according to Fran?
Yeah, I love this. Set the tone early on. I think that is really, really important here because KCP have proved they can slow things down. PK have been the best team to go in your face from the LATAM side historically throughout time. Right? I know we talk about E United in terms of that, I guess, aggressive approach, but PK, they can do it best if they're on fire when you have the likes of Monkyz really getting in your face. And meanwhile, of course, the chaos. I think that is kind of their key to victory overall. Their general strategy is to keep it chaotic. You know, win the important 2v2s, win the important team fights, but then keep the pace up following that. Don't let KCP reset, slow things down. Don't let Acells get an M-bar. Don't let KCP rotate around the map. Keep it going. PK, keep them on the back of the heels.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the flip side, Kansas City Pioneers. Ryan, break it down.
Yeah, that checkout map, I mean, Toby talked about it, right? PK, very, very good in that checkout map. That is going to be a very, very important map for the Pioneers to get, and they got to keep Dezonide off that long shot. When he picks up that weapon on the map, he is just unbelievable. So they really need to make sure they take that out of his hands, get that map out of the way, get that map under your belt. It's going to be a big one. And their MVPs, they got to take over, right? Xysho was an MVP. Acells was our last MVP. Those guys need to do their thing. Those guys need to play like MVPs, right? Precision's not on the team anymore. We know how good he was. Bronny, great player, but it's a bit of a different team now without him. So your MVPs, they got to be like MVPs.
They performed that way, that's for sure. Xysho, Acells, even Hndles, obviously all MVP caliber players against another, kind of handful of MVP caliber players, like I mentioned earlier. So interesting matchup. These two teams, I think, match up really, really well, pound for pound, and you can kind of line up player to player, if you will. Monkyz to Acells, and so on and so forth. Very equally and evenly matched players. The question is, does Fearzly bring that it factor? The Pittsburgh Knights have yet to do it on a Sunday. They've yet to take home a championship for LATAM. It's been 4 or 5 years at this point. We'll see if they can finally do it today, but it starts with the reigning champs, the Kansas City Pioneers. And that leads us right into predictions. Toby, starting with you, who you got?
Yeah, I mentioned it. PK have a really, really strong mode pool. They don't really have a weak area, unlike any other team, honestly, this split. So it's a really, really good point to mention for PK. And it really rests on them winning the execution in particular. You heard KCP earlier say, or Bronny say in the interview, that they just don't like Exy, then they barely have played a Fearer. PK have to win those. The question is, though, is this new classic KCP team that we've seen just yesterday in the major, is it enough to topple the Latin American giants? I think it is. I think they'll edge on the control, and I think they'll play amazingly in the escalation, stereotypically to KCP's fashion, especially on TG. I think they'll edge it in this sense. So I'm going with KCP.
Toby picks the Kansas City Pioneers. Ryan, who you got?
This one was just so hard. Like I sat and looked at the screen for like 10 minutes. Like I just, these teams are so evenly matched. Of course, I got all the love in the world for the LATAM Kings over on the Pittsburgh Knights, but I did make a clown out of myself betting against the Menace the other day. Again, I'm not going to do that again. Something about this KCP team, man, when the lights are brightest, when the money's in the line, when things have the most pressure on their backs, doesn't matter what they look like on Friday, this team always just finds a way to get it done. They are still our defending champions until proven otherwise. So I do think, kind of like Toby said, I do just see the Kansas City Pioneers edging them out. Now, this could absolutely be our grand finals again, right? We could be talking about this match in a little bit, but I do think in this instance, something about this KCP team, man, they just always get it done.
There you have it, 2 for the Kansas City Pioneers. And similarly, Ryan, difficult one. My mind, my brain, my logic says the Kansas City Pioneers based on how they're playing. But it's been Fallout's heart season. I'm following my heart. My heart says the Pittsburgh Knights are going to find a way to edge out the reigning champs here in the winners bracket final. I got PK winning this one. I know Franchise thinks the same thing. I'm with Fran. I think Jacob, PR thinks the same thing. So, hey, we're rolling with PK. We're hoping for the story, but it's going to be a battle, a bloodbath in this one. I am so incredibly excited for this matchup. Enough of us talking. Let's go ahead and jump right into gameplay. Let's throw it right over to none other than Colin and PR. Take it away, guys.
Welcome over to the caster side of things, everybody. I am Colin the Crow Clark, joined by the fantastic and the ultra-talented Jacob MVPR. You and I have been watching off broadcast all day long, sitting in the Discord, chit-chatting about the matchups we got to see early on between Rebel and E United. But then toward the end of that matchup, we started focusing in. We locked in here with the Pioneers and the Knights. And both of us really, heavily debated on how good both of these teams have played. And thus far, I have to say it, Jacob, I think the Knights have been more consistent this split than the Pioneers. And that's what I think might win them this day.
Now, I can definitely agree with you. They've been a little bit more on fire. They have a little bit more clutch, but that's because you take out a big part of the Pioneers. Precision was more than just a slaying powerhouse. He was like the heart and soul of this roster, and I don't think they have fully found themselves. I don't think they've fully reached their full potential yet, which is looking pretty scary, but the same thing could be said about the Knights. So going into this matchup, I'm thinking it is the road to history. Pioneers are going to continue on their road to history and win yet another major. They can add that notch to the belt. But this matchup in itself is history. It's the road to the Knights winning their first championship overall, but this is the road to the first Latin American team ever making it past winners finals and advancing to the grand finals.
How many times, and I think I did it earlier, I tried to count it, you and I believe, have had the Pittsburgh Knights in either winners finals or losers finals more as a casting duo than any other guy on the planet. Dezonide early on the flank will get 1 kill. Now the other 3 players from the Knights will clean up the other 2. Bronny will be taken down, middle of the map. You're going to see Hndles will rotate for the torque bow as they get first off of respawn. Raver will hop the cover and drop down to where his teammate might be able to get a pinch onto him, but they're going to get the call out. Hndles will put some shots there. Hndles has the top side of this ledge, torque bow in hand. First bolt will go out and find Raver in the back left shoulder. Now he's going to have to focus on the 2 other players from the Pittsburgh Knights that are still in the ring.
I love this answer back from the Pioneers because Pittsburgh Knights did so good. They got at least 30 seconds on this hill. No matter what happens, they will have won the majority of this time on hill number 1. Gave themselves a little bit of a cushion. Hndles puts himself out of position. That's a big elimination. Torque bow now out of play. Back-to-back elims as Monkyz takes out Acells. 20 seconds left. That's just scrap time, but that's not going to go in the hands of Pioneers either. Everybody forced to rotate on over, but nobody has the advantageous positioning just yet.
Yeah, Pioneers might get caught trying to run away here. Xysho's going to take the outside spawn position. He's got a good little angle here at the 90 degree on 2 players. Now 3 from the Knights. They're going to send 3 deep over here. Shots over the top, and they need this 45 to start coming through. They get 1 team revive out. Fearzly goes down. Now 1 player challenges up in the 1v. 2 other players challenge out towards Xysho. They need just a little bit more help. All 4 of the Pioneers will get kills there as they get every single down, and they're going to let all 3 of them actually bleed out. Nobody's going to pick up those eliminations, and I like that from Xysho. He immediately over-rotates and shores basically the close spawn for his squad. The Knights will have to push across the torque bow side of the map if they want to get back into this fight. Acells will pick up 1 in the middle, send 1 staggering death back off of respawn, and will actually make it safely back out to a teammate.
Yeah, right there, even though Dezonide, he's just caught out of position. That allows the Pioneers to get some extra time before the PK push does come through. 50 seconds left on the clock, so no matter what happens here, if the Pioneers stall out, even if they lose this battle, there's not going to be any scrap time left for the Pittsburgh Knights to gather, but flashes are out, dashes are in, shock going out, going to deny any more push potential coming out from PK as the Pioneers continue to rack up this time, but this is where the Pioneers are tough with this decision. You continue to press on this hill with 30 seconds left, or do you try to play for next? You already have Raver extended out wide. You have Dezonide with the torque bow. So it's just about keeping this one contested as long as possible.
Shots in. You see Monkyz continuing to up A around that corner. He's just getting these decaps. He's making sure that the Pioneers don't get too much of a big lead here. Don't amass too much of an incredible reset on P number 2. Flash will come out. First shot by Bronny will not get enough damage to force Fearzly off of that spot. He'll hit with a big back A. Now Fearzly has to worry about getting double pushed. He'll get killed. Monkyz and I believe Dezonide have made their way off to the middle of the map. Dezo will turn and try to get some shots on with the snub there. Pulls out the torque. 1 bolt left. Be able to find 1 player, still revving it. I believe the Pioneers will simply just stay in cover long enough to stay away from that splash damage. You see Dezo still up top here. He's going to have to get pressed out by 3 players of the Pioneers because they want to take over this close respawn. But Dezo hits a beautiful shot over the top, getting the headshot there on Acells. Nade coming in. Won't hit the first. Second one in. I believe I heard it go off. That might have been a flash that hit the ground. You see the stun not coming through for either. Dezo's full red. He's going to get tagged up from the right side. He's going to go down. Monkyz is right there, though, for the quick team revive. And Jacob, this is a very stalemated fight due to just 2 players from the Pittsburgh Knights, Dezonide and Monkyz.
Yep. Finally, it looks like the Pittsburgh Knights were able to break through for just a short moment. A very, very short moment there for the Pioneers. Kind of led that one dead. Fearzly forced to retreat out of this hill, trying to reunite with his teammates. Everybody looking like they're trying to figure out what the play is, where they want to make the push, and everybody going to the north portion of the map means they want to try to get that spawn point first. Possibly position themselves for this next hill as well, as this one does come down to only scrap time left. But I like how this one is still close. About 30 points of separation between these 2 teams means they're just trading blow for blow, back and forth, not letting either one get away with a mile.
I love that Acells is just holding that angle, lancering out. He's keeping downs and damage on multiple players from the Knights because, I mean, they have basically played a game of suffocation. They are making it to where you're almost nervous to push in because you're either on your 2nd or maybe even 3rd possible down where you just immediately die off. There's a secondary one on Dezonide. He's going to get quickly revived. Acells, it's a big body shot there to get the down. Full body shot, won't get the chunk. Now the torque bow revving, missed out by Dezonide. He's going to try to skedaddle out of here. He is on his 3rd down and out, by the way, so he has to try to stay alive. Keep that torque bow in the hands of the Pittsburgh Knights. 2 players turn back around. Monkyz is in a 2v1. He's going to get taken down. Hill has officially respawned. Raver will finish up the kill onto Xysho there. He's going to have Fearzly here just to his left, and they pick up that torque bow as Dezo, I think, dropped it for a teammate.
Fearzly. And that's the story this weekend so far. A fantastic first day for Fearzly. The second day, not so much. It seemed like he was struggling. Hopefully, he can pick it up here on Championship Sunday. And when your points have already been doubled up, you have no choice but to step it up. Not only Fearzly, but the entirety of the Pittsburgh Knights. That's why this push is so important. Dezonide is going to be the tip of the spear, getting that first one onto Xysho, drawing some players back. Acells is going to go down. 4v2 is going to Assume. Monkyz goes down, though. So does Fearzly. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, 4v2 turns into a 2v2. Dezonide once again being that tip of the spear. 2v1. Flank coming in. They have to go forward, but how long can Hndles stay alive? He's being a menace, getting a down. His teammates are there. Lancer Cross going in. Another elimination. Finally, he's going to go down to Dezonide, who can seemingly do no wrong here for the Pittsburgh Knights. He just needs his teammates to pick it up.
And Jacob, it might have been a mistranslation due to Google Translate, but last night I think it was Dezonide that said on Twitter that he is giving not his life, but his soul for this, and that is really showing through in his gameplay early today. Dezonide is at that point in his career where he knows the knock on him is the fact that he has no championships, is the fact that he keeps getting to the door and is knocking, but can't get it to open for him. And you can tell he is sick of that moniker. He is sick to his stomach that is the one thing he has left on his checklist to maybe go down as one of the greatest players we have ever had on our screens. And he is showing time in and time out today that he, leading the Pittsburgh Knights through and through, true black and gold style, are trying to chip away at the Pioneers and the rounded wagons of their entire campaign.
Yeah, unfortunately enough, though, the Pittsburgh Knights are just falling short. The Pioneers, once again, looking like that dominant force, looking like the four horsemen of the apocalypse as they're taking over this game from the ending portions. The majority of the Pittsburgh Knights' time came at hill number 1, where they scored 42 of 70 of those points. Since then, it's been all flat. They've been getting staggered out, individual play after individual play, and for the Pioneers, who have perfected that Wolfpack mentality, that's just handing them this match on a silver platter through the smoke. Almost even looked like splash damage. Xysho takes out Fearzly. 20 seconds left on this here. Pioneers are looking to put him in the hurt locker as they end this game.
The hurt locker is never a place you want to be, especially when it's the Pioneers that have put you there. Already early rotations over for the Pioneers toward this next hill. There's going to be one player playing up close. I believe it's Fearzly. They have to get a call out on him. He's going to push up and try to get some body shots on. He tagged his teammate. I wasn't sure. I was going to say, did he tag him through the hip of his teammate? I really thought for a second he might have gotten that torque bow shot off and gotten the down on a Pittsburgh Knight player, but no, he did indeed hit his teammate. 5 seconds left on the old hill, making it probably about 8.5, 9 seconds before it'll switch on over. Raver is there, top of the cover. Hndles gets the quick sneak. Dezonide with a wrap shot gets one. Now playing at that stairwell. Needs to get a second, won't be able to do it. And as we move into the next position, the Pioneers have a flank, but they are also getting flanked by the close respawn of the Pittsburgh Knights. They are between a rock and a hard place. We can see if the Knights can get into position to try to help out their teammates. Bronny is going to go down here very shortly. Full red. Hndles has the back cubby of this spawn. Flashes are going to come out early. The more damage they put out, the harder it's going to be on the Knights to push into this. 3 players push into Hndles, and he actually gets a down right there. Unable to get a chunk. Here comes Acells actually on a huge flank. Gets the melee down in the meat shield. Now has to worry about 2 more players behind him. They're at the blue cubby. Bronny gets a win there in the 1v1 of the corner. Now the second shot from Bronny gets the down, then the chunk. And a full 4-man wipe off the respawn of the Pioneers, up over 240 points, continuing on in their campaign. Looking to try to shut this reactor down. And
right
this or the
there,
next.
you saw Cell's target selection with the meat shield, making sure to shoot the enemies that his teammates were also shooting. That is exactly why they're firing on all cylinders, not skipping a beat. They're on the same page. They know exactly what to do in every single one of these situations, and it's just smothering the Pittsburgh Knights. It's so hard to fight out of. You need to match that fire with fire of your own, and it starts here with 42 seconds left for Pioneers to close out this map number 1. Pittsburgh Knights need to start playing flawlessly. Fearzly going down, though. That's going to stop that flawless run, or at least not let it get started. Depending on what Pioneers want to do, they can continue to push forward. Great shot grenade to go and stall him out, but Raver, he's separated. Shots are out. Torque bow is coming in from Hndles. Dezonide's going to get dropped. Frag grenade going out, though, so it's still an even battle.
I was going to say, I think for just a moment there, Acells, I don't know if he was unsure of the fragmentation grenade, but Dezonide was down, and I think he was just waiting for somebody to get close enough to pull the pin. We have a disconnect here by Monkyz, and look at this immediately. The boys from the Pioneers pull out of that hill, needing only 28 seconds on your path to victory for the Knights, which is, maps 2, 3, and 5. If you got to take at least one of the first 3, probably going to be that execution, and then you need to pick up 3, 4, 5 for the 2 of them. So 32 to 214 on the reset. Here comes the Knights. They're going to be overwhelmed, like I thought. All 4 players from the Pioneers in the hill, getting that number down as low as humanly possible, as quick as humanly possible.
Yeah, I love the idea for the Pittsburgh Knights to try to contest this hill. 32 points is not a lot, especially when you can win twice over. But the initial battle won convincingly by the Pioneers, and they're already halfway to victory. Fearzly, he cannot sit and Lancer up. He has to wait, but his teammates waiting in the wings. Raver tries to make a play instantly. He's going to be shut down. Fearzly back against the wall. He's going to be shut down. They get the split spawn to come in. Dezonide doesn't get a chance, and the Pioneers will take game number 1.
Boy, howdy, that was a quick little reset. We probably needed to just focus on the execution.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
At that point in a control, I mean, you know as well as anybody, Jacob, at that point in a control, it's so far out of hand that it's almost damn near impossible to come back. Looking at the execution map, I mean, we can talk about what the Pioneers were able to do correctly that entire map, number 1, whether it was their rotations, the extra Lancer damage. There was a lot of things that they did well. The team fire, soloing it on the same players. Do you think that those are things that are going to translate into the execution, or is that where the Knights are going to shine?
I think this could translate into the execution. You know as well as I do, when you got momentum, that can shift from map to map, mode to mode. And the thing to note, it's not like we're playing one of those maps that takes strategy. It's not like we're playing one of those maps that gets spread out. We're going straight to checkout. We're going straight to the battlefield, the all-out war. Even though that's a map that was picked by the Knights, they banned away Clock Tower. They made sure they were able to kind of have this one first. They didn't have any sort of life there in any sort of sense of the word. They didn't have any convincing big team fights. They didn't have any big convincing individual battles. I will say, though, that man Dezo, even though he kind of lost this one in the replay, he is like the only one putting in work right now, in my mind, for the Pittsburgh Knights. So coming into this one, that's why I wanted to see a little bit of a warm-up, a little bit of comeback on control. Yes, you should lose it, but it's something that you can hang your hat on going to the execution instead of going back to the replay and losing 32-0 yet again. And that's where I begin to put my doubts. I want to see history be made. Don't get me wrong. I agree with Fallout 100% of the way, but it's just these red flags. There's just so many things getting tossed up, and it's all caused by the Pioneers.
One of the things that I think the Pioneers are able to do efficiently throughout time and time again in history is be able to single target fire. It's what actually was winning United a lot of their Pro League matches. They were doing a fantastic job of it. The Knights in execution, I think, will start to shine a little bit through because it's a little bit harder. You can spread the forces out. The Knights can take more solid 1v1s, which, I mean, all 4 of these guys probably play 1v wagers like out of their brains. They literally know how to take every fight, every cover. They know when they have a damage advantage so that they know when to push in, when to pull back, and play a little bit more definitively defensive. I think that's what the Knights have to kind of rely on here as we go into execution. If the Pittsburgh Knights go in there and say, look, if we find out that they're overloading a side, if they're looking for an extra man, roll back, play away from their strength, play away from what the Pioneers have been trying to do to us, map in and map out. Because you can tell this to me is the Pioneers basically putting out a declaration of it doesn't matter what the hell happens until Saturday afternoon. If we win Saturday afternoon and Sunday morning, we're in grand finals with a map advantage. What are you gonna do then? You gonna beat us? You gonna beat us? What? 6 out of the 9 other maps, or 5 out of the other 9 maps? You gonna do that? All right, take your chances. Take your chances.
Especially since you kind of throw in the fact the Knights are already on that road to trying to make history, right? If you lose this one right now, you drop to that losers finals. No matter what happens, if you find yourself victorious, you're going against history 10 times over because historically the team that wins these winter finals positions themselves so well. Very few teams can say they have won from the losers bracket. A lot of those teams have created a dynasty of their own in way of winning from that losers bracket. So it's going to be one tough task for them to kind of pull themselves out of. That's why I put so much importance. But as we continue to shift on over to checkout, I think Pioneers have done a good job of having a well-balanced game plan on checkout. They don't overstray too much towards frags. They don't over-aggress towards the ensigns. They don't play out wide too many times. But what we've seen throughout the regular season, what we've seen throughout yesterday, what we've seen throughout Friday is the Pittsburgh Knights, when they get on the checkout, they love to play out wide. They love to get that sniper into the hands of Dezonide. And honestly, I believe so, even though Rise is no longer in this bout, is they forced Rise to change up their strategy. They tried to get the sniper into the hands of a Vexy's, very, very similar, because you saw, and I talked about it, Rushies would always continue to go out wide, but they made sure to get it because how quick you could turn the tides with a headshot. Do you think the Pioneers have done their homework? How much do you think Jackal has prepared this squad for that all-out push for sniper?
Oh, I'm sure Jackal and Bebo have done their homework on the Pittsburgh Knights time and time again on checkout. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of different looks from them trying to prevent the long shot play from the Knights. One of the things I've seen happen this weekend when players have gone for that long shot pick is the forfeiture of the fragmentation grenades.
Okay.
And not just from forfeiting up the 1v or forfeiting up that possible flank. They overload the platform so that as the Lancer fire comes in, you've got two guys kind of lancering the same player coming in first. With that third or fourth guy, what they're doing is they're lancering the player that knows they have to go for the revive. So that team revive kind of just becomes, if we can get them both down at the same time, that's what we're looking for, is you do enough damage, we tick him. As soon as he gets the revive off, we're already double lancering that first guy again. And you've been lancering the second guy the whole time, so you're tagging players up. I've seen that a lot lately, especially in this major and in some scrims leading up to this week. Teammates bringing in that basically a tertiary lancer to just single target out the guy that knows he has to get the revive. So that might lead us to see the Knights have to push 3, maybe even 4 deep into the long shot, in which case you give up all of the other real estate. You're giving up the incendiaries, you're giving up the fragmentation because you're betting on your best player. You're betting on a long shot headshot from Dezonide to help try to win you the day or win you the numbers advantage.
And I will say the majority of the time when they do give up those weapons, their opponents aren't necessarily executing to perfection. We've seen a lot of missed frag grenades. We've seen a lot of missed ensign attempts to try to take out these players of the Knights. So if that strategy do come through, because I do believe that is kind of like a flex option for them as well. If they get those downs, they'll continue to push on over. The sniper will then become a afterthought because they know the eliminations are more important. But if they don't and they get out with the revives, then you know they're going to try to beeline it for the sniper, try to go for shots when they get pushed back outside of the lane towards that wing and plat side. And usually Dezonide does not miss, whether he's hitting the headshots or the body shots, which is why they really, really try so hard to get that in his hands. And for the Pioneers, and this is where I'm going to be looking at a couple of their front spawns, and be looking at Acells, but I'm really going to be looking at Bronny, kind of that newcomer to the team, because he's going to be playing that very, very similar position that we saw Rise play with Rushies going out wide with those frags. You have to decide in the blink of an eye with no time on the clock, do you throw those frags from frags? You try to rotate on over. You continue to go on your flank, and there's so much chaos going on in that headset, so many different comms. Sometimes it is hard to make that decision, but that is where superstars are born. And what a better time from Bronny go into full God mode than on Championship Sunday, a chance to advance to the grand finals. I think this is the moment he's been waiting for. At least I sure hope so, because if he can capitalize on this, I think every doubt in everyone's mind about Bronny will go to the wayside.
You believe Bronny's going to be playing out in the 1v? They're not going to put Hndles out there to try to stack up the 1v, or do you think it's simply matchup based? They know there's the chance that Bronny will have to match up against somebody like a Fearzly.
I think they have the option to kind of bait and switch, do whatever they want, because we've also seen very, very similar things to a lot of our other teams, specifically on Clock Tower, not necessarily on Checkout, to where you can kind of telegraph what their actual push is. And I, I don't want to keep bringing up Rise, but when you have Rushies going down low, he's going for those frag grenades, he's going from some early eliminations. But when you have Inzum going down low, they're not necessarily playing aggressive. Inzum is kind of watching out, he's targeting, he's being more of a scout. If he has the frags for free, then he does go. So I kind of think it's going to be very, very similar for the Pioneers, especially if somebody feels they have that hot hand. If Hndles has that hot hand, I would like to see him put himself a little bit more into the fight, let Bronny play out wide. But if Bronny has the hot hand, there's no reason why they don't switch their positions, because we've already seen it from the Pioneer squad from the regular season. They're not scared to switch things up and put people in the different positions depending on how they feel.
Very much an explosive chemical compound mixture over there for the Pioneers. They're willing to mix up the adages and the dosages to try to make that explosive as highly volatile as it can be. We are loading into map number 2. It is checkout here between the Pittsburgh Knights and the Kansas City Pioneers. Pioneers up 1-0 in map count right now, looking to try to get it to be 2-0, but this is an extraordinarily difficult map to beat the Knights on. So I'll be curious to see what the answer is or may be.
Eyes on target.
Start off. 4 men over. Hndles is actually going out wide for those 3 frag grenades this time around. Doesn't look like he chucked them, but maybe he should have. Monkyz with that first blood onto Xysho. Raver getting that down. Frag grenade getting dodged all around. Acells finally being cleaned up. Monkyz sacrifices himself to the ground. Hndles trying to go in. He gets it down onto 1. Got an elimination early on, but the numbers game from that first blood for the PK is just too strong. They hang on and win round number 1.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation. I mean, we even heard Toby and them talk about it early on that the Pioneers don't really even play execution that much. They're reliant upon their escalation and control gameplay to kind of win them the day. Early in this one, it looks like the Pioneers are struggling against the Knights. We'll see if the Knights can continue that method, continue that methodology, and continue overwhelm the side of the Pioneers. Hndles will have a free flank here. He'll get the frag grenades, throws one off to the side of the platform. Now in a position to try to push into the second one. That first nade doesn't find anybody. Dezonide in the area with a long shot, but he doesn't even pick it. He's going to push up with his teammates and get a double kill of his own. Incendiaries will ensure that nobody goes out. Hndles secondary throw didn't find any downs or damage either. So I believe right now it is just Bronny and Hndles versus a full 4-man push from the Pittsburgh Knights.
Yeah, and this is a matter of time. As I said, they just need to bull rush one side. They're separated. Dezonide in the middle. One's going down. He connects with the body shot. Just keeps his distance, pulls out the pistol. 2 in a row. What a big turnaround, Colin. But this is something that a lot of people could have predicted, and that's what I like about a lot of these top teams. And we named 5 of them. Unfortunately, only 4 of them can make it to our championship Sunday. No matter how far down in a hole, no matter how bad it might look, they always find a way to climb themselves out of it.
Round number 3, rolling out of spawn here. Pittsburgh Knights with a 2-0 round count lead over the Pioneers. We'll see if the Pioneers have any kind of answer. Hndles will go towards those fragmentation grenades, finally get answered out here. Early in this one, I believe Acells got a quick down and a kill there onto Raver. Xysho, I believe, gets taken out. Monkyz as well. So 2v3 situation, double down on the opposite side of the map. It'll be Hndles in a 1v2 at worst, but he's going to get taken out. Acells is already down. We have a 3-0 lead.
Is it concerning at all?
Oh.
After that map, then what? Yeah, I mean, did you just hear what I just said?
Toby said it himself. Toby echoed the sentiment.
Control and escalation.
Pioneers don't particularly care for execution. They don't play it that often. They know that they're good, but if they get a win, they get a win. If they don't get a win, they don't get a win.
I'm saying rightfully so, because even in their most dominant form with precision, a lot of their game plan was what Toby would call that death ball. They're just going around the map. They're just going and killing everything in their path as a wolf pack. That's not necessarily the best game plan for execution, but if it works, it works. So I can kind of agree with that assessment 100%. That's probably why he's one of the best analysts we have in Gears Esports. One of the best, though, because we have a beautiful list.
3 rounds in a row here for the Pittsburgh Knights. Flashes will come out. Xysho will take over that middle lane. Bronny tries to go up. He gets the incendiaries and backs all the way out. Monkyz is full red. Tries to hop back up onto the top. He will get there. Bronny will throw out the first incendiary and get ice-breaking kill here for the Pioneers in this round number 4. They're going to need a whole lot more, though, if they want to try to get a couple of rounds in the bank to even fight back against the Knights. That's the only thing that I really see being a concerning point, is that the Knights just get if the Knights overwhelm them 6-0. There's no rounds on the board for the Pioneers. Is that just them missing shots? Is that them playing lackadaisical? We'll see how it continues to play out here as the 2 players from the Knights try to rotate to the platform. Love has been shown now by both teams. First, the Knights go with a multi-man execution, and now the Pioneers with their own answer back. Ghost cam in on that thing, baby. So the symmetry.
Yeah, you can kind of see what PK was waiting for in the 4v3 situation like that. As soon as Hndles try to go out wide for those frag grenades, they just pushed. They had no real other option, but Pioneers, they won that early battle. Ensigns in their hand, stop them dead in their tracks, and those players couldn't even continue to push over because of the Ensign on the ground. You're just asking to get burnt alive, so Pioneers finally showed some life in this execution.
First round on the board for the Pioneers, rolling out of spawn here into the next round. They need to find the same kind of success that they did just last round early on, where Xysho was able to pressure the mid lane, and then they were, of course, able to get those incendiaries out. Raver will be on top of the platform. Acells might have overextended himself there, puts himself in the danger zone, rolls back in time before he gets taken out. Raver with the incendiaries. It looks like this time the Knights will have the overload. Bronny with a 2-piece of his own. Now Monkyz down, 1 left alive. Fearzly, he goes down. And I believe we're going to see another execution ensue, Jacob.
You know how they roll. Everybody knows how to roll. This is not no surprise. If you're surprised by this, you probably haven't seen them dominate Gears Esports for the past couple of months. for a very, very long time. They make sure to assert the dominance, though. Just like that, though, in a blink of an eye, Pioneers climb back 2 rounds in a row in order to bring this 1 round away from tying up. And I think the Pittsburgh Knights are going to have to switch up their strategy here. They're going out wide. They're trying to get the sniper in the hands of Dezonide a lot. This time, I feel like a 4-man push. Put 3 people towards that plat side. Try to get that first blood and instance, and then go from there. I think that's the call I would like.
Well, we'll see if they go with the call that Jacob would like. Rolling out a spawn here. Round number 6. Looking to try to get into a position. Take over. Fearzly will be playing the far back part of that spawn. Monkyz will throw out his flash. Smoke goes down. Raver instead goes out wide. They're going to go for that long shot play that we've talked about ad nauseum prior to this map starting. Dezonide down. He gets quickly picked back up, but there's the body shot you spoke of earlier. He gets the first down. Team revives coming through, but no downs or death just yet. Nobody with a pick yet onto that incendiary. A down comes through on Raver. Dezonide still looking to try to find an angle here. Has to look back toward the middle. Bronny down as well as Fearzly. Everybody trading out back and forth. But Monkyz with a big team kill. He tries to make up for it with a kill on Acells, but the long shot is off of the play right now. Unsure if anybody's going to be able to pick it up without going down. Bronny's Xysho and Hndles versus Monkyz, Raver, and Fearzly.
Hey, that what you want to see after that initial down, forcing the Pioneers back, put them in a tough spot. Raver going down as well, trying to make a rotation wide in the open through the lanes. Not the smartest of decisions so far from the Knights, but you can see they're trying to do what they can, especially Monkyz after that blunder. Look at the utility. Nobody has any bit of utility. So, honestly, those wing players, I do believe it's Bronny and Raver. They have the option to try to fake out wide. If you fake out wide, you can try to toy with your opponent, try to get them to go, ride onto that bait, and then you can try to rotate back, that little bit of a fake that I'm talking about, and try to take that 3v2.
Answer across. Hndles gets tagged up. Damage being pressured out. Bronny, he's here to check Fearzly, ensure that if he goes up onto the platform to go for those incendiary pick. Double step up. Fearzly actually takes the front of that cover. Now they double drop down, all 3 players for the Knights in this area. Another misroll by Xysho puts himself in the danger zone yet again. Back A, will get some damage, but he is down, and now it looks like Hndles comes on a big-time flank, gets 2 down. Now the 2 cleanup, and it is up to Raver. He's going to get double chunked out. That'll be the final kill of that round. No execution there, but we're all knotted up here. 3 rounds in a row for the Knights, followed by 3 rounds in a row.
I love the way Hndles played that almost that whole time. He's making sure to play out wide, holding his anchor, not getting baited in. Pittsburgh Knights, they took that bait, all got baited in towards that plat side, which allowed for a free flank to come through from Hndles. Doing a good job all day long. Even Ryan saying it's hard to bet against this guy and the legacy he's trying to build. Switch up of strategy now. Fearzly going out wide. Raver still trying to take that plat side, but that's just a contest. But he's going, grabbing those frags, bringing them back. Sniper in the hands of Xysho. Downs coming in. First blood in the hands of the Pioneers. Bronny goes down, though. Finally, it's going to be cleaned up as this one comes down to a 3v3. Hndles, though, with the instance. Sniper instance in KCP's hands. That's the biggest advantage of them all.
Looking across here, you see where Fearzly held on to a frag grenade. Misroll, though, and now the frag grenade is on the ground. I believe he had Nasher out when he died, so there will not be a chance to pick those up. They should be having to be coming off respawn. 3v2 for the go-ahead round here for the Pioneers. Xysho top platform. I believe he knows that one player is lurking in the wings. The other player has rotated out toward the electronics. That is Dezonide going wide. Xysho with a quick mark out there. And they need to get an eye here. They need to make sure that they know where Raver is.
I feel like obviously Xysho knows where Raver is. They're just too separated right now in the Knights. It's put a lot of pressure on the Dezonide because he's the only one that can really make moves. Raver's just trapped in the corner. As soon as he moves, he risks getting headshotted. Just like that body shot. Xysho is going to check him. Almost gets the check onto Raver. Time dwindles down. Xysho doesn't have to worry, though. That's Acells watching his back, which is why I put the importance on to Dezonide. Hndles keeping his space. Going out wide with the Lancer. Dezonide is going to drop. The options continue to dwindle down. Raver stuck by himself. Double shot with the sniper. Xysho is going to secure that round lead. And 4 rounds in a row, Pioneers climb back into this map and are now in danger of taking a 2-0 lead against the Pittsburgh Knights.
Possibly in that position here. They're continuing their beatdown. It will be 2 rounds away from the 2-0 lead over the Knights going into that escalation map number 3. But I mean, what else could we expect in this situation? Is if they go down 2-0, the Knights have to take it to a map 5. I mean, hasn't that been everybody's deal thus far this major? I mean, you go down the first 2 maps now, we might as well win 2 just to make it interesting, right?
I mean, they've done it before. They definitely done it before. And if you're going to create history, why not do it with the biggest bang? Backdoor, reverse sweep, come back, win winners finals. 2 dominant North American teams in Lunar's finals. Only one can dream right now, and Raver trying to make that dream a reality. Going in towards plat side, grabbing those insins. No, Sniper is the next play. How deadly this team has been. One insin to go ahead and take out the position. Second one to get that first blood onto Xysho. Everybody being forced back, rightfully so. Pioneers have to get themselves out of dodge. They have to figure out a play here. I don't know if Dezonide's gonna let anything come easy as he gets the body shot on a Bronny. Needs to be careful here. Frag grenade in towards Plat. Dezonide's gonna dodge that one, but he is now under siege. The pressure is on. Bronny, he could make the play if a down comes through, and he does. Bronny gets the elimination onto Dezo. He goes down, but the Sniper's now out of the game.
2v3 situation here, backside of the checkout lanes. The last 2 players for the Pioneers are Acells and Hndles. Hndles tagged up heavily. They rotate over here as well as they're going to try to pressure into the Acells, bouncing around, trying to keep everybody missing. Hndles will win a 1v on the opposite side of the map. Now in a 2v1, bounces straight into the up A, hits a full spread, but doesn't get a down or a dead. Good answer back. The Knights finally get another round on the board. They tie it up 4-4.
I will say one thing about Hndles. Anytime you're watching him play in like a clutch situation, it always looks like he's going to clutch. Regardless if he does or doesn't, he hit that brick, man. If that was just a down, he possibly could have came out on top, but numbers game for the Pittsburgh Knights. That's what they need to continue to keep doing better. Wolfpack around, hold your numbers as long as possible, minimize the hero plays. That's a huge key. Fearzly going out wide. What the team does here to stay alive. Gonna be a free sniper on over to KCP. As soon as they see that pickup, frag grenade going out just to stall the instant pickup. Pioneers have not got the sniper just yet. They're going out wide. First blood. Dezonide goes down. Flashes the counter. Monkyz got dropped. Revive is in. Frag grenade unable to connect. 2 duds coming out from Fearzly. Xysho doing everything right. Instant from downtown, burning him alive, minimizing his options. Fearzly goes down yet again. The Lancers are out. The Pioneers are just putting them in a blender. And with those downs coming in, they are now on map point. Seconds and steps away from taking a commanding lead in the series.
Knights have to win back-to-back rounds. They got to play picture perfect from this point going forward in this series. The Y button in this round will be the Y you hit yourself on as he rips the arm off of that player and then forces it straight back into the temple of himself.
Just trying to think right now, Colin. Just poor usage of the frag grenades. That's one of the things I can just point it down to multiple times, not just once.
Well, we'll have to see if they can get better here in this next round, because again, the Knights have to be picture perfect here in the next 2 rounds. Bronny will be pushing out toward that mid platform like he has all map along. Pushing in, there's a big shot attempted, but won't be able to find it. Bronny by himself tries to roadie strafe right into a teammate, gets the down, but then the double kill comes through. The missed shot by Bronny there definitively cost his team because he couldn't get enough damage on the Raver to either answer back or get a chunk for the Pioneers. Hndles in a 1v3 situation now. Just pokes out to that corner trying to get at least one down. Won't be able to get one there.
It's round number 11, Colin. It is round number 11. After a hot start, 3-0, shortly answered back by 4 straight rounds. Since then, it's been haymaker after haymaker. Neither team wanted to lose this map. For the Pioneers, it means going up 2-0. Tasting a victory. For the Pittsburgh Knights, it means tying this series up and at least going to a game number 4, which they desperately need here in this situation.
One to the backside of the checkout lane. Xysho will push into a position here to try to get a flank there on the middle lane. Incendiary's picked up by Raver. Everybody from the Pioneers are maxed out in that back lane. First blood comes through for the Knights. And that was a brilliant strategy. They push the mid lane, they overload the incendiaries, and it allows them to get a definitive control both over the territory and the initial of this round. Long shot pick by Dezo, hits the body shot there on one player playing the platform. Looks for Hndles. Xysho's gonna go down. This is gonna be an easy headshot, but it's gonna be cleaned up. And ladies and gentlemen, with all the rigmarole that went on, they find a way to win round 11 and tie this thing up at 1-1. Going into a map 3 escalation, we will find out who will be taking the lead in this map series between the Pittsburgh Knights and the Kansas City Pioneers after a very quick commercial break. We hope that you don't go anywhere, that you are in love with this action as much as we are. We'll see you on the other side. Welcome back to the Gears Winter Major, everybody. We're in the middle of a heated series between the Pioneers and the Pittsburgh Knights, all tied up 1-1. It looked like for a second, Pioneers might come away with that and go up 2-0, but the Knights, they go into a round 11 and steal away victory. Away with a big dub there to tie this thing up, sending it to escalation, Jacob. And that was probably the key to victory that, as we've harped on, so did the analyst desk. The Pioneers have to win the 2 controls and probably an escalation, whereas the Knights, they're looking to win the escalation and the 2 executions.
So honestly, it's the way everybody's kind of pointing it down, the way the match has presented itself up until this point. This next map, what everyone's saying, is really make or break for either one of these teams. Either, obviously, you know, PK would have to win this to go to map number 5 because everyone's saying the control is going to go to the Pioneers. So this is a must win. This is a lot of pressure. And it being training grounds, do you think that kind of helps Pittsburgh Knights being a Latin American team? We know these guys have a lot of tricks up their sleeves, but they have shown their hand early.
Well, that just means that early on, I think the Pioneers are going to have to take a look at the different things that they've seen from the Knights, whether it be the early rotation past the closet outside going on the flank toward the overlook, whether it be an early power weapon placement down there in the closet, or if it's simply just the overload to the overlook with one player not even caring about the B-Hill. We saw yesterday, I believe it was, Friday, it was Rebel that allowed their opponent to take over the B-Hill round in and round out because they left the player in the heaven to lancer across to the overlook. They mounted up 3 kills, whereas the opposing team maybe got 1, and then they were allowed to overwhelm B-Hill and then reset their defense for the respawn. So that'll be an interesting thing to see, is whether or not the Pioneers are expecting, or is scouted all of those possibilities.
Yeah, and honestly, it's very, very similar to how a lot of these teams play Regency. You know what I mean? They play a spread out map. They try to go for the weapons, or not a lot of them, half of them. They go for the M-bar, they go for the frag grenades. They give up that early advantage towards the Rose Garden just so they can get the positioning and everything else because they have trust in their retake potential. And I think that could be key in this matchup on a training grounds, especially how things present itself. You want to go for the high ground. You want to get yourself control over that overlook, even if that means sacrificing a little bit of a lead early on in the game, because then you can cross almost everywhere on the map, even though we're kind of focusing on how much of a cross that makes towards the center. But you spot out the players' heaven. You spot out fresh respawn players, figuring out where they're going to go. So you're not only doing that, but you're also getting information. You're going to be able to relay that for your team and get the setup which you want. And for both of these teams, that setup might not even be a setup at all. It might be being aggressive on the other side of the map. So that overlook, especially early on the game with no weapons on the map, is going to be a pivotal position for both of these teams to fight for.
We'll see what they do and how they place it. I believe we saw Friday a team go straight with shock grenades underneath to force out a power weapon either being placed at the U or at the range. That was a pretty interesting strategy we saw. I'll be curious to see if we see another thing like that come out late, or technically early on this Sunday, even though it's late in the tournament, as there's only 3 teams left. Rebel has been eliminated, so United awaits the loser of this one. Down there in the losers bracket side of things, the winner of this will move on to our finals and be awaiting for the winner of that secondary matchup. So I'll be curious to see if we see a lot of different hoo-ha come out here. Everybody tries something, a little suspicious, just tries to throw something into the game plan, because you might be tipping off the other teams that are still left in this tournament to what you might be doing on a map like this if it ends up in the rotation.
Yeah, so it's going to be very, very important. I would love to see some tricks up some of the players' sleeves, and not necessarily in full-on rotations, because I'm kind of expecting the Knights to come out with an aggressive push over towards that neutral hill, and not necessarily to cap it right out of the gate, but to get the position down that alley, get that first blood, get the early 2-1 that we were talking about. And then, since they don't have anybody positioned for the overlook, they just need to make sure on that side of the map they do not get eliminated, because the Pioneers could be looking for an opportunity if they employ that strat. But the Knights, they haven't ran it too many times. That's why I kind of think of it a little bit as a trick strat.
Coming in to this next map, Jacob, it'll be interesting to see, as we've been talking about who takes over the mid-neutral hill position in that second half, because that U has always been highly contested in the early goings. 2-2 split, actually, fully split across the map. 2 players go to the B-Hill, 2 players go to that mid-neutral side between the home hills. Right now, it looks like the only player with a possibility of a flank is down on the bottom. It'll be Monkyz, who has the chance to push across the middle of the map. Bronny up top of the overlook will be able to lancer out anybody that pushes in.
Monkyz going toward the top side. Nobody having control of that neutral. Talked about the importance of this overlook early on, especially with the lack of weapons surrounding the map, but DK, no, they just gotta take it step by step, moment by moment. Tries to flash towards the back. Surprise push coming out from Monkyz. Acells seemingly survived now, dodging that second flash, which was very, very pivotal. And now he's going to return fire. Trending aggressive. Fearzly gets himself out of position, but lands the necessary shot. Acells go down. Bait and switches in between him and Monkyz, and they do it yet again. They're just making sure nobody takes too much damage, but Fearzly falls. Monkey makes the play, and the eliminations are going to be in, and they're pushing forward for more. They want that triple cap domination. And Xysho, he just needs to buy time for not only Acells to rotate over, but for teammates to get off a respawn.
See Raver now pushing in with 2 more teammates. 1 player holding down the home hill of the Pioneers. That's going to be Acells. He's going to get tagged up. Hndles just trying to make it inside of the B hill, going for a possible neutralization, but round 1 is going to be over and done with as the Pittsburgh Knights get the first round here. Map number 3.
So that's what you want to see out of the Pittsburgh Knights. You continue that momentum in from that execution. We talked about the importance and the pressure of this map number 3. Our analyst said it. Pittsburgh Knights, execution all-stars. That's how they're going to win there too. Pioneers, control gods. That's how they're going to win there too. So escalation is so pivotal in a lot of these different series, but in this matchup, you see the weapons going down. Nothing too surprising. Bolt talks all around. That's just the first step. That could be many.
Coming into this next position here, already toward the baby steps is Fearzly, but they're going to backtrack, actually. They're going to play defensively here toward their home hill, allow Monkyz to pick up that Boltok, and the player up top here in the overlook, unsure what they're going to be able to do. They're going to rotate Fearzly down into the middle of the map. A very stalled out initial. Once again, the Knights kind of debating their position, debating what they're going to go with. Again, I believe there's a chance that we see them push down toward the bottom, toward Acells yet again. Very successful there in the first round with the 2-man push toward the backside of that hill. I think somebody just hopped over to the back hallway.
This is very different than what I was kind of expecting to see here in this matchup, but with the pressure, everything on the line here. Escalation, the only one in the cycle. Dezonide trying to finally push on over. Flash grenade is going to connect onto Hndles. Misses that first shot, but the down comes in. Raver with the cross over the top. Xysho now has to retreat. Position has been given up. You see Acells falling back as well. Dezonide is getting aggressive by himself. He cannot overstep his boundaries. The cross is in, and he does. Xysho and KCP, they set the trap, and Dezo falls for it.
Actually, Dezo down. It's killed off. Home hill still in control of the Pioneers. They stave off the triple cap domination for this round momentarily. Bronny moving over for the home-to-home split. Fearzly here in the middle of the map. They've got to make a decision as Monkyz has 6 rounds left in the chamber. They're all chambered up, actually, as it is a Magnum-style gun. Revolver-style, really. You know that barrel, that cylinder is filled up with all those 6 shots. Dezonide's going to push in. The flash is there. Wrap shot doesn't connect, but the second up A does. Now 2 more players to worry about. Acells still alive, trying to continue to keep himself up in this position. Raver will be crawling down those stairs. A secondary player from the Pioneers has rotated over. Only player left alive on the map is the player at B. Bronny pushing in to try to stall this out, try to force Monkyz to make a move. He's going to get 3rd down and out after the melee. Gets the kill. Smoke in the bag and tag. Will not matter as that round will go over to the Pioneers, tied up 1-1.
That's what I like about this squad, man. They know how to turn it on in the flip of a switch. As soon as they get aggressive, as soon as they get a little bit of an advantage, they know they have to swarm. Timing is of the essence. When it comes down to the weapon, I expect something very, very similar to that last round. Business as usual. You don't want to put that big weapon, especially since how passive these teams are playing right out of the gate. You don't have 3 over. They're grabbing the Boltoks. They're going over the overlook. Even though this time around with the changes with the retro, I expect both teams maybe to grab them, maybe to drive past them, but 3 over towards the top side of the map.
Last round, we saw the Pioneers be up into position early.
Wow.
But the Knights were late to their position. Once again, the Knights, they will go and collect their retro in Monkyz' hands. Then they will come in for a secondary push. Fearzly moving to the middle of the map.
Does the passiveness of this game so far surprise you at all?
Of course, because neither of these teams are normally very passive, but the Pioneers have shown that when they play against some of these top teams, they want to be a decent amount of passive because of the fact that they don't want to be the first team to give up the team fire downs and team fire kills. 2 players rotate into the bottom side of that stairwell. Fearzly once again helps his teammate perfectly coordinate a push to get a kill there at the B hill.
Dezonide goes down. Capture's going to come in for the Pioneers, though, so the work's not done for PK as Fearzly rotates on back over towards this U. Flash going out, trying to go towards up top. Acells goes down. That's going to be a big go-ahead. Fearzly gets a back-to-back down as well. Help over the top. I do believe that was Dezonide with the Lancer to make his job that much easier. They're going to suffocate one hill. That is going to be the home hill of the Pioneers, but Dezo oversteps once more. He goes down in towards the hill. Revive coming out from Raver, and he cements himself. That's going to be a sacrifice. Triple cap domination sounding off, and Monkyz, you get to celebrate, bro. It is going to come through. 2-1. Pittsburgh Knights answer back to take the lead away from the Pioneers.
Pioneers aren't comfortable with this secondary style of push. I know you can have your incendiary at the first half right here. Do you really want to go down 3-1, or do you place a power weapon down at the U right here, right now, and force out that kind of play from the Pittsburgh Knights? Do you force them to take a fight somewhere on the map? They're gonna make them take the fight. You're gonna have to fight us sooner or later. Yeah. Surprised it's going there and not going at the U.
Right?
The only
I would
reason
think
it's
they would want the
surprising-
team fight.
Yeah, I thought that they would want the same thing, but they end up not.
I wonder if that kind of favors the Pittsburgh Knights just a little bit. Especially in the hands of Dezonide, even though there's a deadly sharpshooter on the other side. Bronny's going to be the one going in. Backed up by Hndles. On this side of things, it's going to be Fearzly and Monkyz. First down coming in. That's going to allow them to continue to take the position. Dezonide knows he cannot let it go free. He tries to stretch out wide. Kind of stop that cross over the top from the member of the Pioneers. Bronny's going to get out safely with the sniper, so it's a little bit of a trade. Early hill advantage for that power weapon play. How it roll out for each one of these teams, we'll see.
Does he have any idea that Fearzly is about 7 feet away from him?
I don't think so. But I think right now, yep. Now you know. Oh my God, Corn.
That was absolutely massive.
God.
2 other players on the map are already dead. Last player left alive is Monkyz. Over rotation should be coming in over to the home hill. They're going to get a neutralization, but I believe at least 2 players will have a chance for the retake here as they're all spawned running that way. Raver and Dezo both marked out. They're going to be in the hill, but no chance for a touch, no chance for a reset. 2-2 going into the second half, and that's what I expected to have happen after the Pioneers placed down that power weapon. They knew that they wanted a team fight early to try to take an advantage.
I didn't mean to scream like that, Colin, I swear. Oh, actually, no, that wasn't me at all. That was somebody else. That wasn't me. I screamed like a man. That wasn't me. Fearzly, though, you got to come up clutch. That's all I got to say. He snuck him. Sniper out, gets body shotted, rolls away. I felt like that battle was so important because if Fearzly's able to stay alive, he can rotate in towards E. They have the numbers advantage. The Pittsburgh Knights, you know what they do with the numbers advantage. They just go. They pounce. But now Ensign's on the map. Boltsock still down low. Sniper in play. And it looks like PK are still going to contest for it.
Acells trying to get the shots on here to Raver at that mid-neutral hill. Incendiary out over the top by both players, but it will be Acells with the victory there in the 1v1. Inside of the long shot position will be Dezonide. Dezonide looking to the top heaven there. I believe Dezo will have at least one teammate to try to give him an advantage to get away. Acells is trying to get an overload here. He's trying to get a good angle to try to push out both of these players. Dezo is full red. Gets a quick headshot onto Acells, though, and that will shut down the Pioneers' advantage here in the secondary retake by the Pittsburgh Knights.
Give him a pixel. He's going to take it. Body shot towards the back line. Luckily, Xysho's lancering any, but Raver got it down on the flank. Another elimination being picked up by Monkyz. That hill is definitely going to go over. Back-to-back shots going to connect. Dezonide connects with that one onto Hndles. Acells has no choice. He has to overextend. He's going to be successful here and buy his team some time, and that's why he is who he is. Going to have to send multiple members back on the side of PK. In fact, all these players are going to try to abandon that triple cap domination. I love the play. They just need to continue to stay on the same page as Dezonide takes another one, lands another shot to check another player and say, we know you're there to take that 2v1. Acells' time comes to an end, but he did buy him time as the triple cap domination has been prevented. Pioneers have been gifted a second chance.
This is a Pioneers misstep right here. After the first headshot comes out, Dezonide is taking advantage of every headshot opportunity. See what they can do here, as it looks like the Knights are pushing into the E-Hill side of this, or the F-Hill side of this map after pushing through E, trying to get these kills. 2 players down for the Pittsburgh Knights. Dezonide will get that one revive. He's actually rotating out as fast as he can. His teammate's going to get full red down and is now dead, pushing back into the E-Hill. Still very close. in a point lead category is the side of the Pioneers. So even with all of the advantages the Knights took early, they were not able to hold their advantage long enough to get the lead. So now Monkyz at the bottom of the stairs. Dezonide is going to push down. He's going to probably go for a flank, but he's going to get caught out by 3 players. Monkyz has a full red player in front of him. So down and now out. New long shot should be respawning very soon, but I don't know if you have the time to wait for that. 1 player already inside of the cubby. Acells is going to challenge at least the decap and maybe the triple cap neutralization here, as it looks like Acells knows that he's going to have some help from the front side. That player has to throw a flash, try to get into that area. 3 seconds left on the neutralization and domination. 20 and counting. 1 kill by Acells, reset by Dezonide. But Jacob, I believe it might be too late as there's less than 9 seconds to go for the victory. Pioneers to go up 3-2.
Yeah, Monkyz was that player you're talking about. Wasn't necessarily waiting for the sniper in the middle because he didn't even grab it when it did pop up. He didn't want to give away his position. He was trying to be that sneaky player, getting past enemy lines and trying to break the home hill. Unfortunately enough, even if he did, which he was not, by the way, he was stopped short, his teammates were nowhere in position to break the remainder of the hill, so that one was down and out regardless as the Pioneers go up 1 round, 3-2 to start the half. Boltox going down. The sniper's already in play, so I don't see too many opportunities to change things up. And that's why you're going to see them go down low. Boltox going to be upgraded to the retro. I don't see it being grabbed right away unless they spend 2 players towards the bottom half of the map to start this one out.
This is
Coming in around number 6 here, Knights need to try to get another round under their belt to try to tie it back up. Flashes and smokes go out across the map. Deza with a couple of different marks. Nobody inside of that closet just yet. Deza throws the flash to get the stun. Now a big body shot comes through. Deza will have a chance to pick up the long shot after the health reset. Big shots in the chamber. He's going to push out with his Snasher out. He's going to go down. 2 players in the area. Quick revives coming through. Raver throwing an incendiary out toward the E-Hill. He will not get a kill there as the E-Hill continues to get capped up. Deza tries to turn and burn one like he did the previous round. Incendiary back out. Not allowing Dezonide to take up that position. Big shot over the top by Hndles. Might have a chance for a down there. Won't be able to get it. And Dezonide has to basically full reset here. I think the Knights have to go and talk about this one before they push back into their position.
Yeah, sacrifice a couple seconds here in the beginning portions of the game, so that way you can make that team play. You already have Dezonide with a sniper. You already have a big tool for success. You just have to get him those shots. And honestly, I love the position of him for a certain aspect, but I would like him a little bit more in the team fight. Body shot's going to be connected on to Bronny. Information given out. He spots another target. This is where that 3v3 fight is going to go down on the other side of the map. First down coming in. Bronny gets cleaned up on the rotation. Back-to-back downs by Monkyz. And a 3rd elimination is going to be cleaned up. 3 down and out. Last player alive is going to be Xysho. Like I said, you know how Pittsburgh Knights like to play with a man advantage. They get aggressive. Everybody's swarming onto that hill. Dezonide with the body shot yet again. Monkyz with the ace to end the round and tie this game up. Doing everything right along with some help from Dezonide. Pittsburgh Knights not going down without a fight. That's what we love to see.
All tied up 3-3 here. Knights with another answer on the board. That's the thing that is really giving me a lot of faith in this thing. Going the distance, going to 5 maps as both teams are not going down in any way, shape, or form or fashion. They are giving each other the best effort they can here on a championship Sunday. Retro Lancer for the Knights. Probably, maybe, oh, what are we going to put down at the E-Hill? Are we splitting up the fight here? Are we trying to make this? No, never mind.
I like that, though. You have it to 60 seconds. Have it on the field a little bit longer. And the way they've been setting up a lot of defense, the way Monkyz has been playing, every 60 seconds having a retro, especially with those narrow corridors, the narrow passageways on the neutral hill as well. Could be a deadly weapon, but it almost requires a great setup for it. Because if you're trying to break a setup, trying to retro lancer from far away, you have to be picture perfect. As you see the strategy coming out, very, very similar from both of these teams. 1v1 towards this E side of the map, 2v2 in the middle. Both teams having an additional player watching over the top. Since nobody wants to make a position of sight, but Dezonide is rotating. They want to try to get that first blood onto Acells. Instant over the top, and it backfires. Fearzly goes down.
Fearzly down, giving the man advantage over to the Pioneers in this situation, but Pioneers, they're going to have to play very carefully as it looks like Monkyz is going to rotate back into the fight with the long shot in hand. Sees a player try to tip his hat over the top of the cover, won't be able to get the headshot there. Once again, the Knights have kind of sacrificed out an early hill advantage to pick up that long shot, and they're going to put Monkyz in a position here to trade that out with Dezonide.
Amen.
Dezonide will be back in the same spot he was last round. Long shot in hand, top of heaven, looking around, trying to find the angles to get either body shots or downs to help his teammates.
Enemy mark!
Ooh, that's going to be a big one. Monkyz knows. He smells the blood in the water. Like Jaws, he's going to attack. Gets the down onto Xysho, forcing a rotation all around the map. They know Bronny's there. They know they're split up, but Monkyz overextends too much. Down on Xysho gets cleaned up, but that's by Fearzly, and it cost him his life. Great plays being made, neutralized by the Pioneers in the blink of an eye, who already possess these 2 hills to 1. So when the Pioneers come off a respawn, or say the Knights, they have to make a final team push, because everything they're on after, if they're not successful, is going to be desperate play after desperate play.
Smoke is out, trying to hide the number of Xysho, trying not to give up a positioning here. It looks like the Pioneers got a little bit of a call out. They know that the push from the Knights is coming across the back hallway. Xysho's going to go down after getting out a ton of damage with that retro. Unable to secure a kill here, but Xysho will have to push back into this fight. 2v2 situation here. Nobody up top of the heaven. 2v1 over at the E-Hill. Raver up top. He's going to go down after the neutralization is coming through. So the Pioneers will once again have that mid-neutral hill back into their favor, but I believe they need a triple neutralization as the Pioneers are already over the 200-point marker.
Yeah, I'll take that.
It'll just be a hot minute before a win for the Knights comes through. Curious how many shots Dezo has left. He has his Nasher out right now.
They know they need a triple neutralization. Pioneers shift back just to get their teammates out of that position. Everybody falling back. Monkyz gets caught off guard, though. Now Pioneers, they can continue to test this hill because they know Pittsburgh Knights need to defend not only one, but both of these, but they have no time left on the clock. 10 seconds left. Pioneers will escape with this round. Bronny going deep into spawn, getting chased by Fearzly. He's going to get taken down all onto this home hill, and nobody is close enough for a chance. The Pioneers will escape late in this round and take the go-ahead 4-3 lead in map number 3.
Does that boil down to the reaction shot by Bronny in that back cubby where he was going for a revive on his Xysho, but as the player took Xysho out as he was crawling around, and Bronny just, flicked very quickly and got that single shot? Is that what this round kind of boils down to? Is that little bit of a trade-off right there with Bronny getting that second kill? It stops that over rotation. It stops the home-to-home break early enough that they get over the 200-point marker?
No, I think the biggest thing that hurt them there at the end is they were trying to make that overextension push. For some god-awful reason, somebody told them to leave Xysho down and bleed him out. So that way when Fearzly died, he died going for that down onto Xysho, who was already down and out for quite a while. They need to know when and where to leave these players down for that additional time, and that was definitely not one of those times. As same strats coming out, players in the position, 2v2 over towards E, but it's actually 2 players from the Pioneers that are going to get aggressed on Raver. Fearzly, they have a 2v1. We saw this go down last round and same result. Acells goes down early.
Acells is down. They're not going to clean him up. They're going to leave him to bleed out. Bronny might try to make an escape here, but it looks like once again the Knights are in a position to threaten out multiple players. One trade out on the opposite side as Fearzly's down. Looking for maybe the body shot here. They get the down onto Raver. Dezo's in that area. Headshot by Bronny gets the kill, and now one more player to worry about. Missed body shot there. Quick little revive onto Raver. Keeps them into this position, but Raver goes down yet again, and the Pioneers have another angle. Oh, what a sight to see for Bronny as he sees Fearzly come up those stairs and actually pulls back, not putting himself in the danger zone. Goes for another headshot. 2 shots left in this. They're going to continue to play offense here, and I'm unsure why. This is one of those situations where you have a chance to get a definitive point advantage and force them into you. Instead, you are just giving yourself a worse position, and now they throw a shock over you and they trap you out.
I feel like that was high risk, high reward. If they get those eliminations, they can go for the triple cap domination. But I gotta agree with you. In the match with this close, a match with this amount on the line, winners finals, going up 2-1 with a commanding position, you almost want to take the smart, safe play. But honestly, I'm not surprised because the Pioneers, they don't take the smart, safe play. They like to assert their dominance. They like to win by wolfpacking and aggressing themselves across the map. 2-1, 10-second lead for the Knights. That's only going to grow. 3 players positioned on this side of the map. It's not going to take long. Pioneers, they want to try to get a break. They want to try to get these eliminations. Bait and switch. Monkyz goes down. Revive is in. The damage is there, though. Fearzly's going to get taken out. They know they got to get aggressive here. Raver's going to drop as well. Monkyz is out. They know they have a chance here if they get aggressive and keep their man advantage, so they're going to go for this triple cap domination, Colin.
I don't know about the domination, but maybe the neutralization. Nobody's there for the cleanup there at the E-Hill. 2 players in the hill. Dezo's going to try to crawl down and get to a position where he might be able to get revived out. Fearzly sneaks up the stairs, gets 1 down. Team revives with a double shot, gets a headshot. Now Monkyz will get killed off, and they have to rotate 1 player back. Xysho has to go back to E if they wanted to solidify the triple cap domination. Another kill comes through. Dezonide will be the only player off of respawn for an attempted neutralization. Not going to be in time. Not going to be enough. And the Pittsburgh Knights, they fall to the Pioneers here in map number 3. Pioneers go up in this matchup 2-1, and we will be heading into a map 4 control. Bronny, your MVP, and he made 2 big plays in back-to-back rounds to really help solidify this map 3.
Yep. But with the Pioneers having a commanding lead 2-0, Colin, one can only hope the Knights can keep this dream alive. We'll figure out if that dream will become a nightmare after this quick commercial break. Oh, we're staying on. My bad. I thought it was a commercial break. I forgot that map 2. That one was actually pretty quick. I thought it was a commercial break, Colin. I thought you missed the call, but it's me. You know, you're confusing me, Colin. I'm going to call you out. Where's your energy?
Look, man, I've got it.
Where's
I'm
your
right
coffee?
here with you. I'm right here with you. I'm playing through this. We got 5 maps possibly to go as the Pittsburgh Knights probably are going to answer back here on map 4.
There's no energy. There's no energy, Colin. Just drink the whole cup. I know you got more. I know you're saving it for that grand finals. I know what you're doing, Colin.
It's just water, baby. Ain't no coffee in it.
I know what you're doing because you probably already predicted this one. Just like a couple of our analysts. I know Fallout's the only one going for the Pittsburgh Knights. You probably think this one's going to be a little bit easier, or at least you thought it might have been a little bit easier. I feel like you did.
No, I really expected this thing to go 5 maps. I think both of these teams are playing at a very intense high level for this weekend. I think that the Pioneers are right there in lockstep with the Knights, and they've really showcased this weekend that all of the people, including myself, that might have prematurely buried them. I mean, look, that is a trap card in Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it's also a trap card here for any team that doubted the Pioneers. Premature burial has been put out on the field, and they said, hey, brother, we're bringing that man right back onto the field of play.
I got to ask you, even though this did slow down, there's a lot of stakes on the line. Do you think that slowdown of play hurt Pittsburgh Knights? Because I remember a few seasons ago, these same teams were kind of in the finals. They were then known as Vanquished. I was casting that district. I do believe it was Escalation at the time. And I felt strongly that the Pittsburgh Knights switched up their game so much from the regular season that the slowdown that they switched up to hurt them so much. A lot of their win or losses in this season, in the game, came from aggression all the way. Do you think the fact that they're choosing to slow things down is hurting them, maybe even confusing their timing, catching themselves off guard?
I think right now that they are unsure of this Pioneers team because of the fact that I don't think they prepared for this slowed down, methodical Pioneers team. I mean, that is a different look than we've had in a while. So I really do believe that this is right now. The Pioneers might be throwing the Knights off their game. Actually, I mean, I'm off my game as well. Premature Burial it's a spell card. I mean, it's not even a trap card. It's a spell card. But you got to pay like 800 to 1,000 life points to get. It's a long story. Look, I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm an idiot. I will be tomorrow. I am today. I was yesterday.
Oh, you're not. You're not. You're actually one of the smartest guys. We know you got a lot of deep knowledge in that skull. Not very many people do what you do on a regular basis. So I want you to cut that out. Let's get a smile on those face. But
there's millions. There's millions of farmers in America. Don't say not many. There's millions of them.
I'm not even talking about farmers, Colin. That's just one of many things you do and you bring to the table, man. You're a professional at golf, and I don't want to hear otherwise. You're going ahead and teaching other people about life. I know you schooled me along the way. I come to you for advice, so you cut it out, man. Let's get a Colin excited here. Let's get a Colin chant. Can we get a Colin chat? Can we get a Colin chat?
Have you met Twitch chat and May's relationship? Twitch chat and I's relationship. You're asking for a Colin chant. I'm afraid what they're going to put behind that word. There's going to be some choice words and you're not going to like it.
Come on, Hunter.
You're not going to like it. I'm telling you, it's not going to go well.
That's all right. What's not going to go well right
Twitch
now is this
chat
control
and I
game.
like oil and vinegar, like Taylor likes to say, even though oil and vinegar makes salad dressing.
I was about to say that actually goes together pretty well. So that's why I'm saying let's get it going. But
Taylor the other day, that was amazing when he said, I'm going to put oil and vinegar together on a table. And I was like, you need to put oil and water together and then put a covering over it so you can watch it separate. And he was like, what does oil and vinegar make? And then I don't remember who it was in chat, but they were like, I think it was bleach for brains. She was like, that makes a salad dressing. I was like,
I'm looking at what's Max next right here. It's going to be district control. I'm trying to figure out how we got to a district control. We played Reactor map number 1. Looking at it. Pioneers, they banned away Spire on control. Regency was banned away by the Pittsburgh Knights. And I love that one because we know how great the Pioneers can be. And that's how we land ourselves on district control. I think both of these teams have a little bit of a love-hate relationship on this map. But I think right now, because of the momentum that Pioneers have been able to build, they can easily assert themselves and have that get continued over onto this map. A great start on the initial. You know they're going to send 3 players over. With the right shots at the right time, they can get themselves that initial victory. You know they're going to spread out. They're going to try to play for next at the same time. As long as they keep that man advantage one step ahead every time, I feel like the Pioneers can run away with this game because of how flat the Pittsburgh Knights looked in that last match overall, not just in any one particular moment. Even though they did win some rounds, they did do good, they just looked like a shell of how they normally play, and that to me is just concerning.
You talk about me needing to get myself going and get the energy back into this matchup. I think the Knights are right there with me. The Knights have not wolf-packed yet this matchup. They haven't really gotten into a lot of these fights, very close range. I think that we need to see that out of the side of the Pittsburgh Knights going into this matchup. They got to come out on District, and they've got to challenge up that cinema early. Right now, I think all weekend long, I would say probably E United has played that cinema fight the best. I think they've dominated it every time I've seen them roll out a spawn on District. So you got to try to take a page out of the book from E United. You got to play it extraordinarily well if you want a chance to win this map number 4. And this is a do or die map for them. Again, you lose this, you're done for the weekend. You're done for the major, and the hopes have been dashed. I mean, you are the last living soul yet again for the LATAM region.
Colin, I hear what you said. I agree with you 100%, but I'm just looking to my left. I'm seeing the chat.
You didn't hear a word I said, did you?
I like it.
I was talking
like what
to
you
a brick
said.
wall, wasn't it?
No, I'm just looking. Look at this. Look at the chat, Colin. Look at it. They love you.
I made an
You're
incredible
the face
point
of Gears
there,
Esports.
You just ignored it. You just
sure. What do you mean? It's easy for things to fly over my head. I'm just
you
happy
ignored
right
me.
now.
It didn't go over your head.
It went over my head. I'm so short, feet dangling right now with excitement. Colin, you don't understand what I'm going through. You're one of my best friends. I'm showing you all love in the world.
One of the shadow images, like we did with reflections earlier. We need to do one of the shadow images for you and change your voiceover so that you can be like 6'8",
I pay
fully
attention
tatted.
all the time. Everything they said, I hear it.
I've heard every word that Colin, Blaze, and Taylor have said to me. They're gonna be like, "Who are you?" You're gonna be like, "Just don't worry about that part. Just know that I've heard everything they said."
Who are you? Yeah, the Pittsburgh Knights. They got to get aggressive. They got to get fast. They're like, huh? Colin, I just love how to chat. I'm just going to say it one more time as we gear up for this map number 4. Just give it one more time. I feel like you're the face at this point. You're the energy. You're the lifeblood. Everybody loves you as we switch on over to District.
Always going to be God Blaze.
Control. This is going to be an uphill battle for the Pittsburgh Knights. We know how this series was laid out from the analysts. We both agree with it tenfold. Control is way of victory of the Pioneers. They won map number 1. They won the swing map in map number 3. Execution won by the Knights. Everyone kind of predicted that one. But in order to get to that next execution, there's a brick wall. No, not me. But it is Control on District, a breeding ground for aggressive nature that is known as the Pioneers.
Coming into map number 4, I think right now they have got to be very good at this initial fight. I mean, this is one of those things that they do not understand just how hard it's going to be to beat the Pioneers on a Control map with the way that they played Control all weekend long, especially against E United. I think that even threw E United for a loop, the way that the Pioneers were able to play back, play for Lancer damage. Coming into this cinema fight, Bronny followed by Acells, and thirdly, Xysho. Hndles once again trying to handle a 1v there in the middle of the map. Smokes and flashes out. Acells will be the first to drop. Bronny goes to the revive, but the cleanup comes through too quickly, and this is a good start for the Knights.
Perfect start for the Knights to show that they still have life left in the tank. So much gas. Fearzly trying to make that rotation, trying to get that Monkyz drop shot in hands, and Monkyz is the perfect man. Him or Raver, I want to see that drop shot. Maybe even Dezonide. Anybody at this team can kind of use it, but you have to execute to perfection. 50 seconds left on this hill. Pioneers, they're trying to get that man advantage. They're going to target out Fearzly to the wide side, and Hndles comes up big. Missed shot by Fearzly. You can't be looking that shaky right now.
Coming into the fight, Xysho is going to see that drop shot land, and he's going to roll out away from it. They've got a good little angle here. They need to double push Raver quickly as they kill the player onto that middle ledge. Now they get the down under Raver. 2 players left alive in the situation. Dezo tries to slide into the lamppost. He would not be able to get that kill over the top. Hndles taking over that left-hand position. They need to play for this side of the map as P2 spawns at that bottom right-hand side of your mini-map, and from where Hndles is looking, it's the bottom left-hand side. It's just a little reverse from what you're seeing to what is actuality.
Oh my God. They got to
Xysho
attack.
hits a pretty good shot there. Yeah, they got to get Xysho. Oh, good shock. It's going to separate, I think, these players.
He barely dodged it like Neo from the Matrix. Shot over the top, staying alive. And honestly, just like Neo the Matrix, you let this man stay alive, he's going to end your run. Now they're going to look to get aggressive. They have another angle towards the top side in the hand of Hndles. You know how he's going to play. Stall out that 1v1. Allow his team to put in work. Nobody is selfish on this squad. Acells sees him out wide. He tries to turn. They catch out Raver. 2 more players for the Pittsburgh Knights are going to get back down. Fearzly's going to drop. Monkyz and Dezonide are getting chased down. And both of these players are going to get cleaned up. Perfect play by the Pioneers from top side of the map to the bottom.
Pioneers inside of the hill. They're going to be mounting up a good lead here if they can get a couple of more seconds. If they can settle out this next drop shot, that will definitively give them the best position possible. Acells inside of the juice is going to mark out at least 2 players here going from right to left on his screen. And now he's going to be worried about them trying to flank him out. Actually, the drop shot will come up, and Dezo's going to be the one challenging him. Acells is in a precarious position as I think he has to leave for the middle of the map. He has to give up an angle and a position because he can't get flanked out here. But the Knights have given up basically the entirety of this hill in an attempt to get this new drop shot. Acells, Xysho trying to fight back. They need one more big shot here. Won't be able to get it. Acells goes down. Xysho goes for the reaction. And gets taken out there as well. So both of those players drop, and I think with the Pioneers knowing that, they're going to try to push into this next hill early, trying to get them to waste that drop maybe.
Yeah, that's going to be the key for the Pioneers, and it's going to be a test right here from Monkyz. How long he's actually going to hold on to it, when he's really going to let that thing loose. Dezonide gets dropped deep into the spawn. I feel like this might be the time to use it depending on how aggressive they get to the top half of the map, because the deeper and longer Bronny stays in that spawn, the easier KCP is going to have on this side of the map. But Acells gets too aggressive. Bronny tries to sneak up, but he gets back down yet again. Shot grenade coming off one of the steps. 3 players trying to deal with him deep into the spawn. That gives up the actual hill. Even though Bronny goes down, you see 2 players trying to get in position. That's Xysho and Hndles. They turn, make short work of Dezonide in a 2v1 situation. Now they have a 3v2 in front of them with reinforcements on the way in the form of Acells. Flashes over the top. Neither one of these teams getting any position, but Raver, he makes the risky play out wide. Lancer to get the downs, and it's going to be a reward in the books. Monkyz and Fearzly follow up with that perfect play, and the Pioneers will get this hill.
I'm actually shocked that we were not able to see the Pioneers pull out a snub or maybe even a Lancer onto Raver. When he went to that cover, you saw them going with the Nasher shots. They were hitting 1, maybe 2 pellets there at a time and weren't able to get any real damaging shots on. Bronny's going to jump out of the juice and get shot on from 2 different angles. Really good trap right there, and now it looks like they're going to push straight up into the position. Xysho is going to be hit over the top by Monkyz, and now Acells will get shot on 3 times and been taken down and out. So, I mean, we basically trade off hills here. P1 was about half and half. P2 goes over to the Pioneers. P3 completely in control of the Knights. It will be over who can get the momentum going into P4. Dezo is here with a flash. He's going to drop it at his feet. Bandstand defense for Dezonide. Another flash will come in. Won't be able to get a stun on him. He's still holding through that smoke. Nobody with the peekaboo strat. Nobody's trying to get it right up into his face quick enough to be able to get that kill. Acells will be just at that angle.
Playing very, very safe here. They knew that Cross was there. Even though they can try to go in and get the shot without taking too much damage, it's still very, very risky because Dezonide's on the other side of that smoke. He'll land a shot any moment. Top side of the map, but Acells lose a 1v1. Fearzly tries to go for that drop shot. He goes down. Raver's not there for the revive because Hndles makes short work of him, who already goes 2 in a row. Monkyz finds himself between a rock and a hard place in the form of Xysho and Hndles. Tries to make a turnaround play, but they keep the distance just good enough to get the down. 72 seconds up for grabs onto this hill. Now if Dezonide can have something to say about it. Cross from Raver, just in the blink of an eye. 4v2 goes into a 2v2.
Honestly, the Knights were blessed right there with a really good respawn. The way they were coming out of the top right of your map, it allowed them to flank out those 2 players as they left the juice yet again. Inside of this hill, Lancer fire onto the drop shot. He has it in his hand as well, so if they can kill him, it's on the ground. They need to kill off Dezonide back here. Once they do, they have a chance to pick that drop. Dezonide down. Acells will let him think about what he's done on the ground. Monkyz will get the down there onto Acells. Somebody's going to try to ragtag over there to get that pickup. They do indeed get it. Continuing to hold on to their lead are the Pioneers. I'm taking a look at the well. I don't think the Pioneers even picked up the drop. Was he able to switch?
I want to say he did switch, only because these guys are too smart. I don't know 100% for certain. What makes me certain is the fact that the Pioneers just simply don't have it, and These guys have IQ like the gods, multi-time champion. Says, shout out for J Ribs, one of our other multi-time champions in the scene. 40 seconds left on both of these power weapons. So as this hill does switch, there's going to be a big decision. That after the initial battle before the actual hill goes down, you see everybody on the right side of your map. Whoever loses the battle is going to get their hands on those power weapons.
I'm just saying, you said you don't know what makes you certain other than the fact that nobody has it. It'd be like being a CSI investigator showing up to a crime scene, somebody's got 28 bullet holes, and you're like, I'm pretty sure he was shot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Colin, sometimes it's as plain as day, you know? Go outside and the sky's not blue, then I don't know what to tell you.
And there we see Bronny hopping up inside of the juice. He's going to get challenged here. Raver's going to back out as it's a 2v1 suddenly. Monkyz will have to worry about 2 more players. He gets the flank on 1, but Acells, quick little roadie run right into that face, and then a double bounce into the second one. Gets the chunk.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it.
1 more to worry about. No! Blind D over the top of the cover. Gets the 3. Was that 3 or 4? That was 3.
4, bro. That was 4. That was 4. I know the first couple of them were quick, but that was a full-on ace, I believe. But maybe it was too quick. Maybe I thought it was 4, and he made it look easy. Either way, you can't let that happen, Colin.
Yeah,
you cannot
the down,
let that happen.
The wrap, the double bounce, and then the kill over the top. That was the executable actions by the PC that is Acells at sometimes. He just, I got to kill 4 things in front of me. .exe, wrap shot, .exe, up a, .exe, double bounce into
and
a
it looks
single
so
shot.
simple and clean, too, like a hot knife through butter. One-shotting each one of those guys, except for maybe one of them.
Is that what it is?
Hndles.
Is .exe the program thing? Is that what you're supposed to do? Did I just do a technological reference?
Yeah, it's an executable file.
So does that work? Voice of God, does that work?
Yeah.
It works. Look, I did a technology reference. I'm done. I'm retiring on top.
Enough throwing that laptop, something will sink in.
Hey, that laptop probably has a .exe Colin file. Just wants to execute me after I've thrown it a bunch. Down in the middle of the map, 1 player for the Pioneers is out. Hndles will go down as he's simply trying to get his team, I think, a better respawn advantage here. Taking a look over the differential. Raver doing everything he can to help his team here with 11 assists, over 11k damage. With the Pioneers, even with their lead, look at the way that Hndles is the only one at 10k. Everybody else hovering around 6 to 8 grade.
And one of the biggest things is the lack of the drop shot execution. Multiple times they've been able to get their hands on it, but also multiple times they're not able to get 1 or more kills with it. It kind of goes the way, maybe some splash damage, but you want to make sure you get an instant kill. Xysho is going to be spotted out. Hndles as well. Monkyz gets smoked out, but he now is going to become the target. Acells gets spotted out by his teammate just in the nick of time. Monkyz trying to survive. Get this 1v1 against Hndles. Miss rolls at the wrong time. He gets deleted off the map. Dezonide gets downed out in the juice, so a 4v2 opportunity here for the Pioneers. Make it even a 4v1 as it looks like a Raver extends down low, tries to extend the spawn. 22 seconds left. Fearzly is just trying to buy some teams some time because there's only 20 points of separation, so this is rather close.
Good shot there by Monkyz. Bronny had him dead to rights, but an easy answer out. Now with just a few more moments left in this hill, we will see the retake coming out from both sides. Xysho has the drop on his back. I believe he has a rocket there as well. You can see the drill bit still reloaded into the drop. That next hill will be going inside of the cinema.
Gotta get it out now.
He's putting himself in a little precarious position. I like that they're going to rotate into this spot. If I am the side of the Pioneers, you need to try to bait them out. Never mind, he's just going to go with that easy kill to make it a 4v3.
We're on the same page,
3v2 in the hill. Yeah, I thought they might try to bait out a couple of players, get them to get into a big team fight, and then have the Pioneers roll back to get a free kill. But yeah, same differential. They got the free kill that they were looking for. They get inside of the cinema. They're going to cross the 200-point threshold here very shortly. 8 seconds to go. 2 players pressuring the info onto Bronny. Bronny gets that stun over the top. Big shots there. Won't be able to get any of these kills just yet. Hits a huge body shot. Goes for maybe a second back A, but Fearzly will shut him down finally. 1 player playing outside of the info. A 3v2 over at the hill. If they decide to press it, they could have a 4v2. 1 player's going to be at the 90-degree there. That's going to be Xysho, and they're going to be trying to protect Hndles and Acells here. Bouncing around, doing all that they can, trying to get these cleans up and downs. They get all 4 down and dead in the same corner. And love has been initiated. Oh my God, he's dramatic about it too. Dramatic about it, my man.
16 seconds on that drop shot. 7 on the shot grenade, Colin. He's a king. He's a man among men.
that's, even though they don't get that kill right there, that's what makes this Pioneers team dangerous, is when Bronny has the ability to rotate and just Lancer like that, like get a full Lancer down on somebody. That's when they're at their scariest, because it tells me that Bronny's not forced to run around the map and try to get a bunch of kills. Xysho gets that secondary drop shot picked up, so he has another drill bit to use. They have complete control over this side of the map. Only player that can really challenge him at this point is Dezonide at the bottom side. He gets killed off by Bronny. 3 players at the top. Acells will be in front of one. It looks like Hndles is going to take a secondary 1v1. Xysho uses that drop early, gets that kill, which will get them some points. That'll get them up over the 250 point marker, maybe? I believe Bronny's gone down, and Acells wins another 1v1. Xysho's going to run away to the top side of the hill. Get the close respawn as well. I think you have to stay just outside of that planter. See where they've got Hndles inside of the juice? He's actually, I think, not in a best spot to get the hill, to get the respawn neutralization. I think he has to go back out to that planter to ensure they continuously respawn in the best spot. That's why you see Raver trying to go to the top side of the map. Bronny challenging him. This is actually a play I highlighted in week number 1 of the Pro League. Bronny played across the map, and he knew that he was going to have to deal with respawns. He knew he'd have to deal with the best players rotating around the map. But it bought 5-10 seconds off of the hill. It bought another momentary style for the Pioneers to get wins around the map. 2 players jump up into the juice. Now a third. Hndles has hit every spread possible.
My God.
Shuts. We're giving him all 3. I'm giving him all 3 in that situation.
Bro, he just built a neighborhood with the amount of bricks he's laying out. He's giving houses to his friends. He's giving houses to his teammates. Colin, they got one for you, and they got a studio for you to cast their matches up over 100 points in a few seconds. Pioneers looking to close the deal, advance to yet another winners finals, looking like business as usual. PK, they've lost their way. They've lost their step playing individual up into this point, but there's still this chance and opportunity for them to close the gap, tighten things up, but it starts here. Dezonide taking a whopper of a shot from Hndles, who continues to backtrack in his step, and he burns him! Hndles will not go down! Hndles will not get shut down! And he continues to assert his dominance. Pioneers can do no wrong, Colin.
They can do no wrong indeed, as they are down to 33 seconds in an attempt to get into that winners finals, have that map advantage in that position. They get the down there, back into the hill. Plenty of time left on this one. It is going to force the Knights to push into every single situation. Acells gets another. At this point, do we just have a 1v1 between Acells and Powers?
At this point, they're just counting sheep. Word to sleepy time. That's it. That's it. Look at that.
Word to Yachty one time for the one time.
One time. Yadiel. Shout out Yadiel. Oh,
or
it's over.
If you're nasty, it's Mr. Hildalgo, okay? Getting the shots on, getting the beat down going. All of the kicking in the world is not going to stop what's happening inside of that hill, which is the Pioneers mounting up 300 points and taking a 3-1 victory. Acells, he said, I just blew your mind, baby. You should know better than to challenge up against me. I think, honestly, for me, the MVP, Acells gets that really big highlight reel play, but they're already up 80 to 90 points in that position. I got to give it over to Hndles.
Yeah.
Ryan said it in the beginning and in the predictions. He said he bet against Shawnee the Menace one time this weekend. He wasn't going to make the same mistake. And I mean, if the Menace isn't out in force today, I don't know what is. That man is a bad mamma jamma. You better shut your mouth. I'm only talking about Hndles.
I don't know if we're doing an interview after this one, but can the lower third not even say Hndles, just says Shawnee the Menace? He deserves it at this point.
It depends on who the interview is. It might be Bronny. It might be Bronny. It might be Acells.
It has been Bronny. It has been Bronny. Ooh.
Okay, so we're not going to spoil. All right,
I'll shut up. I'll shut it up. I will admit that.
I shut it up.
Pioneers put on one hell of a show, Colin. Pittsburgh Knights, since that map number 3, because you saw map number 2 as a fantastic map, playing like a shell of themselves, and I think that bled through into game number 4.
This to me is kind of a classic example, really, of a boxing matchup where a guy that is normally known for his power punching runs into somebody with a hell of a right hook, and they get hit early. They get hit in round 1 or 2, because from that point forward, you had all your faith in your power punch. You had all your faith that you could just out-muscle, out-body that guy. The Knights looked like that early. They played that style, and then I'm pretty sure the Knights got hit with a big right hook, and they all of a sudden, they backed up a little bit. They wanted to use the jab to try to build some space, maybe create something else in their favor, but The only thing that went in their favor was that execution on checkout. The Pioneers, they wrap up both of the controls and our escalation to win it. Shout out Toby Campbell with the insight like nobody else. Big 5-head play right there. But let's hear him break it down over there on the analyst desk. Take it away, guys.
Hey, he's spot on, but listen, the only one that actually has a 5-head on this desk is me. I got a big old one. Toby's got a big brain, though. I'll give him that. My man calls it and breaks it down brilliantly. But hey, what a showing right there from KCP. It's just crazy to think, Toby, this Kansas City Pioneers roster is on the verge of doing it again for a 4th time in a row.
Yeah, we were questioning whether that dynasty that we were talking about was over, right? This split, that was everyone's talking point. Like, where have they gone? They need precision back. They are a different team. Things have changed completely. But no, I think this first map, Reactor, was a huge example of why that simply isn't true. It seems like 300 to 86 they won in the end there. And also, I have to mention him. The 4th player, of course, that replaced Precision was Bronny. And throughout this series, Ryan, I'm not sure if you agree with me, but he has been performing so well. I've stared at the stats in terms of how he's been performing. Of course, he's gone through checkout as well, a very difficult one against PK, but he handled himself pretty damn well, honestly. He was actually 9-5 at round 9 on checkout alone. I think he has really turned up today, and it's a testament to how much confidence he has, I think.
No, I think Bronny is playing fantastic. I actually think he's had a very good event, to be honest. Obviously, on Friday, the team in general didn't look as strong, but on Saturday and Sunday, this team has been playing amazing. I think Bronny's playing amazing. You could hear sort of his general confidence in their interviews as well, right? He is feeling very good about his gameplay and this team, and it's showing on the map, man. This KCP team is looking like the KCP that we're used to seeing, and they're fired up. You can tell, right? They were changing their profile pictures on Twitter to like the underdog. They're really embracing the doubt that everyone's been having in them, and man, oh man, dude, they look good. Shawnee the Menace, man, you saw the plays he's making. Raul, he just Acells a bully. I gotta feel like I gotta fine him for misconduct or something, because he's just being mean to him on the map. I don't know what to do. The guy is just playing on a different level, looking like a back-to-back MVP.
Yeah, and my craziest thing, and I think it might be this moment here. No, maybe it wasn't. No, Bronny died in the moment. Is the trio. I mean, gosh, time and time again on District, you see the trio who arguably might be one of the best trios we've ever seen in Gears Esports, and you see how good they are in these 3v3 fights. I mean, Hndles, Acells, and Xysho, pound for pound, play and shoot so well for each other every time. As I'm saying this, of course, PKs keeps destroying them. But you'll see it here in a little bit in the highlights. It's just insane how good this trio is. Obviously, with Bronny playing great as well, you got to wonder, can this KCP roster be beat, Toby?
That's just something I wanted to mention as well. Is it's so important that Bronny actually did, really step up, because Xysho actually was underperforming compared to usual. Yes, Acells was the Hndles was amazing in particular on District, but I'm looking at the numbers now. Is in fact checkout, Xysho finished with 2-6, actually surprisingly. On Training Grounds, he then went into that map. He finished 1-7 in the end there. Control District 4-9. He wasn't at his usual self, so they actually really needed Bronny to come up and turn up in order to beat this amazing PK squad, especially after how PK played on checkout. And yeah, again, I'm talking about Bronny once more, but we have to talk about the team overall. They have that clutch factor. They have that winning factor. It's clear as day. They were super happy towards the end of this district, and it's clear why. Pioneers are here to stay, and they are just on fire right now.
And you saw that clip too, by the way. There's like 4 players down at once in the hill, right? Like literally, how often do you see all 4 players on the team all being down at the same time, right? The team fire they're putting in. I was watching in the back with Fran. We were watching the match together. He's at the studio, and we could see some of like the angles coming out. The team fire we're looking at in Training Grounds as well, and like you can see some of that same pressure. Like, man, that kind of looks like our old Envy team fire, right? You're just absolutely suffocated. Your Lancer bullets are flying from every direction. It's just this team is playing on a different level right now, and you see it yourself, right?
Yeah, except Ryan, the difference is this team actually wins back-to-back championships. So
that is true. That's not over yet, but the one thing we had was team fire, right?
I can't talk.
We had the trophies, we had the team fire.
That's true. That's a fact. No, you're spot on though. You're spot on. That was the exact. I'm glad you pointed that out, because that was the exact moment I was hoping would kind of pop up in replays as I was talking about it. The 3 of them shoot and fire so well for each other. Had so many great moments there. I mean, that Acells clip. Shout out to production for rewinding that one and doing it again in slow-mo, because that was insane. A 4-piece takes out 4 people literally single-handedly. Acells, we keep talking about it event after event, the best player in Gears. I just wish we could have like a you know how kind of NBA 2K and Madden and other games like kind of the best of a certain dynasty in a certain era. They play against the best of this era. I would love to see this trio and how they stack up against the old Optic Gaming trio. Explosive Mental and co. It is just crazy to think how good these guys are. But hey, look, they're not done yet. They still have a ways to go, and I know they know that as well. They still have a championship final to get through.
Yeah, now the question becomes kind of who are they going to play, right? We have this lower bracket matchup coming. If you're the Pittsburgh Knights, you got to make sure that as people say in the console gaming world, you got to regain, right? You have another match coming up. You can totally have a second chance at beating these guys, but it's going to be a hot United team down there waiting for you. So the Knights, they've done this a million times, right? This is not their first, second, or third events. These guys know how to have short-term memory. They know how to get this past them, and I'm sure after that performance, a lot of those matches were close, right? So I know they're probably thinking, all right, hey, a few more adjustments, and we can totally hang with these guys.
Yeah, that's spot on. I'm excited to see how they bounce back. If we could take a look at the championship bracket, just for a quick update for y'all that are just tuning in, maybe for the first time, if we do have it available, we did have the Pittsburgh Knights fall in the winners bracket final to the Kansas City Pioneers. We'll make it to the championship bracket final. Of course, in our losers bracket, we will have the Pittsburgh Knights playing live against United, who's also red hot. That's going to be a really interesting one. But hey, for now, it's all about celebrating the Kansas City Pioneers, and just got word that the interview with KCP's very own coach, Jackal, one of my favorite humans in the Gears community, is live and ready. Over to you, Jordan.
Thank you so much, John. Coach, it is business as usual again for you guys. A very dominant victory. Listen, those control maps were overall, but really the control maps look so solid for you. How did you feel about your guys' performance in that opening match?
It was good. Yeah, there was just a lot. We went over a lot of VOD and just like slowed it down. Understood what PK was doing. Me and Xysho and Ra was up like this morning, just watching their VOD, watching their district and stuff like that, watching their different maps that they were playing. I mean, we come out so hot on was it Reactor? Yeah, and then check out. There's a couple of misplays by us, but that was just on our part. And then TG again just straight slaughter. And then district, they just come out shooting. All of them were just hitting every shot. Like Raul caught a four piece on what is it on Hill 5, I think it was. Yeah, like in Juice. So he just they were just the atmosphere was great. Like it was all hitting shots, all of them. Communication was on point. Proud of them, done really well.
Yeah, the guys are firing just overall on all cylinders. You already covered my next question. So let's talk about this. Bronny said that you guys were the underdogs in our conversation yesterday, and we've also seen it on Twitter. The guys are kind of feeding into that narrative, if I could say that. But did you feel like you were an underdog coming into this weekend?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Pro League, everyone was having a great time, stuff like that. But it doesn't matter. Like Pro League E-Days, like it's now, literally now. This is what matters the most. And some players will feel that pressure and some won't. I know that my players don't. It's just that simple. None of them feels the pressure. They love this. They love this. The pressure they have this time, and the majors. They love it. It's great, and they perform even better under pressure, which is even more like fuel for our fire. So it's great. Yeah.
Absolutely. It fuels them, it drives them, it makes them play better. And obviously they're dominating. You've got your ticket into grand finals. Very exciting. But I do want to ask you, talk to me about Bronny as a teammate coming in, having some big shoes to fill. Why did you feel like he was such an important piece and the perfect fit for this roster?
Bronny hits shots. It's just that simple. He hits shots. He knows where to go, what to do, how to do it. Like he hasn't got big shoes to fill. Like he's joining the championship roster, and it's that simple. And he's going to be a champion. It's just and it's just getting annoying that people are underestimating us. Just stop it. Stop it, please. It's just annoying. It's that simple.
Yeah, simple. Just stop it. Just cut it out.
I mean, if they want to keep underestimating them, so be it.
Listen, if they keep underestimating you, you're going to keep knocking them back and keep reminding them of who you are. I like that energy for sure. So how are you feeling going into grand finals? You said the confidence and everything, but what are you going to talk about watching this next matchup between E United, PK? What are you going to kind of tell your guys ahead of that one?
We're going to watch the maps like E United and PK right now, just kind of study, see what they do, and just talk about it as a team collectively. And just really understand what each player does at certain initials and retakes and whatever kind of execution map they play, and then whatever escalation map they play. So just gonna talk about it and flow the ideas off of each other, and then build off of there, really. So.
All right, Coach Jackal, thank you so much. You guys are feeling confident, feeling good. KCP is looking very solid as they head in to the grand finals. Now we've got E-United versus the Pittsburgh Knights coming up right after a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the Gears 5 Winter Major presented by the Batman.